Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Scott Schilling Speaks. Going to have some fun here today with a great young gun to transforming people's lives. Miro, the Hero Heyink. Miro, thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you, Scott. Super excited to be here. Grateful and honored to speak to your audience today with my son, Elliot, who's trying out homeschool. So doing the entrepreneur dad journey today.
It's amazing, and you're not the only one who's doing those things for sure. So just looking a little bit at your site and some of the things that you're working, interesting background. Why don't you give everybody a little bit of your background so we can start from there?
Sure. So we've got a dual interview today. Elliot, will you give us some privacy? We'll see. So let's see. My journey is, I'm actually from Germany originally. Had a near-death experience at 17 years old at the edge of a balcony.
I'm playing on my Nintendo Switch
Elliot,
right now.
will you play your Nintendo Switch when I'm finished? Thank you very much. So this is happening. Elliot, please.
Wait.
We're talking. Don't interrupt the adults, okay? Thank you very much. So so near-death experience, I literally manifested a miracle. I had a billionaire philanthropist invest $25,000 in me. I received U.S. citizenship, which is really impossible. And, like 6 billion people at the time wanted to live in America and have U.S. citizenship. And got the scholarship, the citizenship, and the relationships that I needed right at the edge of my personal hell. And so I manifested that and then moved to America. I made my childhood dream possible. So then I had, so even though, I was kind of like a kid in Germany, grew up with no fatherless home and no really community, like always just like not black enough, not white enough, being mixed race. And so with that being the case, I had always this experience of like, where do I belong, and not really feeling like I belonged anywhere. So I made my childhood dream come true of coming to America in 2008. I worked with homeless shelters and inner city youth to really realize that they needed education to come out of, troubled experiences like myself. So what happened and what I realized is for me to help them, like they needed education, right?
Right.
Stop putting it down, Daddy.
Elliot, no sound. Thank you. Jeez. So with that being said, I had the ability to really serve people for the first time and get deep into personal development. So fast forward, I started serving homeless men, inner city youth, invested in my own education, and I became an English teacher and I became an entrepreneur. I went to business school, which set me up for my corporate career. So I worked in digital marketing with the biggest brand like Ford Motors, US Soccer. I was like a success on paper, right?
Right.
And so I had it all, right? I was married, my son was 2 years old at the time, and I was like success on all sort of measures, right? I've been living my dream, but still I felt deeply unfulfilled. I felt deeply unfulfilled. I was making great money and everything, but deeply unfulfilled. And I went down to going to divorce, depression, suicidal thoughts. I hit like what they call dark night of the soul. And so during that time, I've sort of subconsciously called in my first ever life coach. And he pulled me out of a bad situation. And I really learned all about how the subconscious mind works and how we can create our own reality using the power of our subconscious mind. The same way, I had came from the streets of Germany to sort of the coast of California, and now I'm in Kansas City in the heart of America. The same forces of the subconscious mind, our conscious mind, and higher consciousness that moved me and through me and worked with me. I started to realize that there's actually an art and a science to it, that you can control yourself to control your own life and create your own reality. And so I became a life coach and a mindset coach and struggled with that, like many entrepreneurs and coaches do, struggled with that. For 3 years, I was coaching my butt off, serving everyone. Like literally, I remember one time I would call I think it's let's just say a credit card company, a famous one, a big one, to negotiate payment arrangements with them. And at the end of it, I would say, it's like kind of like Jake from State Farm kind of thing. It's like, hey Jake, right? I would say like, what would make this an extraordinary conversation for you? Like 10 years from now, looking back, if this had been the moment that totally changed your life, what we would have talked about on this call to make it so, right? And he'd share some challenges with me about his career and about his family, and he'd have a breakthrough on that call, and then he would be served. So I'd literally coach everyone and anyone that I could. and see if that would help me in launching this business. I wanted to really be a coach full time. And I struggled, and I had a young child, and I was a single dad, and I was struggling with my business and with my community still. Like, there's like, where do I belong as an entrepreneur? And so what I did eventually, I started the Manifest X Mastermind, which is the community that I needed, right? I created the community that I needed. And then we had rockstar results. I had my first 6-figure year in 2019, just using my Facebook profile. And I'll share more about that later, a little gift for your audience. And then we did our first 6-figure year. And then in 2020, in November, like many of us, I had a little bit of a downturn. And I was doing job applications again. And then we had, literally that was in September, I was doing job applications. 2 months later in November, we had our first 6-figure months. So we went from 6-figure year, 6-figure month. I was blessed to have incredible mentors along the journey and amazing clients who trusted me on that journey. And then we launched our retreat. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I will. It's the Fuck Yes Life Mastermind Retreat. We did it in Tulum, Mexico. It was so beautiful. And we did $155,000 in sales in 7 days. So now we went from years to months to days. And my clients have been able to do this accelerated journey just like I did, and really holistically up-level their relationships, up-leveling their families and their sense of self-worth. And so that's just been a joy. Like, that's been the journey, the quantum leaps. And so, yeah. And now we're here.
Now it's time to be on Scott Schilling Speaks and podcasts and TV shows. And so you've created the conscious entrepreneur community.
Mm-hmm.
How do you define that group?
Yeah. So what I believe
definition to that group.
For sure. So conscious entrepreneurs, it's the person who, one, cares about people first and foremost, cares about the planet, and about profits. And you really have to have all three, because if we don't have profits, we don't have sustainability, and we can't serve the people we're here to serve. And the other part about being a conscious entrepreneur is there's this deep sense of growth and contribution, like a spiritual journey. People want to dive deeper in understanding themselves, who they really are. And so it's that unique combination. Those are the types of people I'm born to serve. Many healers, speakers, coaches, many dads. That's my core audience.
So how are you sharing that message with people? How are you getting the word out that this group is available? And are there age, not requirements, but are there kind of age parameters that you're finding a certain age group is really excited about your community and what's going on?
Yeah, for sure. Great question. So I think there's a couple of things. So it's like 2 questions, like, how do I get the word out? And then who are the types of people, right? So really, I originally started with really Facebook, that's been such an incredible lever for me to mastering the marketing game. Once I decided to fall in love with social media marketing, which I know it's the hard part for many coaches, but once I decided I'm falling in love with it, like, everything changed for me. And so it's really been the social media offline, online ecosystem that's helped. So creating my own events, going to personal development events, and then sharing about our live in-person experiences online has been really fueling my live event experiences, and that's a few of my online experiences. And so that ecosystem has really, really worked really, really well. And so that's going on. And then the other part of your question is, and then also too, doing talks like this, speaking to incredible entrepreneurs and sharing the message this way, in an incredible tool. And so currently my audience is typically people between sort of 25 and 35. However, there's a big, I think, opportunity, because my original vision always has been having an intergenerational community where we have children, and elders that we can learn from, experience. Really, we have so much wisdom to learn from each other, So the direction that we're really going is really inviting more sort of people who are, let's say, more seasoned, not just generation, Y, millennials, but also people who have, who are, like, let's just say, seasoned entrepreneurs who've already had success in their careers, and now either looking to give back or to reinvent themselves and launching their next empire. So.
Yeah, I've found as a baby boomer myself, a lot of baby boomers have fairly or unfairly categorized millennials as a variety of different things, none of them typically overly positive. And I've actually found working as a boomer with millennials actually to be a lot of fun, because how can you get upset with somebody that doesn't want to get their butt kicked? That's what the millennials have figured out is I want to have the success, I want to have the significance, and I want to make contribution to the planet and the world and be socially conscious, but I don't want to do it the way you did it. I don't want to get my butt kicked on every turn and whatever. And so as a boomer who haven't got a lot of those butt kickings, quite frankly, what you realize is that's actually early wisdom. That's not, being arrogant or what a lot of people say, right? I mean, it's like kind of common sense. If you could do it without getting your butt kicked, wouldn't you do that? I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? So I love the intergenerational desire to bring the group together that way, because there is a whole bunch of wisdom. You can't, if you live long enough, you can't help but get some, right?
Yes,
So quickly.
exactly. And I thank you so much for speaking to that, because I absolutely do stand on the shoulders of giants. I've had many mentors that I invested in who've gone the path, and even my mom, she's been like an activist, like a revolutionary in her field, going through a lot of trials as a therapist, as a healer, and as a coach, so that we could have what we have now with empowerment. And I think that if we didn't learn from our previous generation's experience, then we would just be doomed to have the same experience. And that's not evolution. That's not how God designed humans to evolve, right? So that, yeah, I believe that the truth is you can have it all. And I think that many people from sort of your generation and before, it was actually more about surviving and being grateful for having a chance at life, And whereas now it's like, my question is, how can we live the fuck yes life, where we can truly have it all, 10 out of 10 in every area of life without sacrificing anywhere, right? And that's really a stretch of the imagination, because there will be sacrifices. And I think what we get to sacrifice is the comfort zone. And I want to make a distinction there. I think we can have lavish abundance, right, in all areas. And the way to go there is through the growth zone. And I think that's something we can all align on. And growth, like it's growth over comfort every single time.
Yeah, I
So
think
that's me, we're too loud. That's interesting.
no, what's really interesting about that is, and we hadn't discussed this, but I actually have an entire section of my last book that says, in the 7 areas of life, be completely present wherever you are at that time and play full out to be a 10 in that area at that time. You actually unbalanced at periods of time to become balanced, right?
Yeah.
Play full out wherever it is, whenever you're doing it. So how are you communicating the message you said you've got retreats going on, you've got a variety of different things. How can we help you get the word out to the people who want to transform their lives?
Oh, I apparently turned off my camera by accident. How do we get the message out to people who can transform their life? I think the easy access is, I have a free Facebook community where I give away incredible value for people to immediately have that experience of what is possible for them to build their businesses online. Hey, Elliot, do you mind if I have a conversation with Scott?
Yeah, as long as you don't turn my Nintendo Switch volume down.
Okay, I won't turn it down, but will you go sit on the couch so you don't interrupt us, please?
Oh,
Thank you. So he knows what he wants, and he's a hostage negotiator sometimes.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Not true.
Not true? Okay. So yeah, so you can join our community. We run the Conscious Entrepreneur community, AKA the high ticket client creation community. And I give away tips, advice, and event invites. Sometimes we are free and some paid events where we're teaching really the magic of creating abundance in all areas, right? And so the first thing actually what I want to offer your audience, anybody who's interested, curious about the type of work that we do, is I've created a free training. I'm actually still creating it, but I documented my top performing Facebook posts. So in 2019, when I did my first 6 figures in business as a coach, I basically hired a VA to go through all of my posts and rank them by engagement and the ones that have just been the most successful in terms of ROI, in terms of revenue, creating clients for me. And so I have those posts, put them all into a document, and I'm literally giving them away for people, and not just the post itself, because alone they wouldn't serve you, but with the training and how to implement it, the psychology behind why that works, and really everything you need so you can plug and play and make them your own, inside of your own business. And so that's a gift I want to offer to you and everyone who's watching and listening, to learn and really master that skill set, to get your message out, and learn from you if you're into the social media and getting your message out. So the way to get to access to that is to join my group, and I can send you the direct link so we can
that'd be
share.
great. We'll let everybody know how to take advantage of that. That's very generous.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to. And the other thing that I love to do is, it's not just the money game, it's also the inner game. And so if you're the type of person who wants to up level your levels of energy and like confidence, I like to talk about unfuckwittable confidence. Please forgive my language. I like to use F words. It's just how I roll. It's part of my DNA. And so if you want that confidence and just like that level of up level, we also have an upcoming event. So I highly recommend everybody coming to Manifest X Live. We're working on the money game, the marketing, the sales strategy, and the inner game for deep personal transformation. And that's also where you can learn more about our retreats. I can definitely share a link to our video from our last retreat, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I don't know if you've seen it, Scott, or not. I haven't shared it with you yet. Oh, you'll love that. Oh, you'll love that. Like, our retreats are literally the best in the world. People who've gone to Tony Robbins events, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and those types come to my event and say, this has been the best event of my life, absolutely life-changing. Literally like top 3 live events. Not even talk about live events, but like live event, like major live event. That's the level of transformation that these retreats provide. We have one coming up in Thailand as well. It's by invitation and referral only, which means I got to have some kind of vibe check and connection with the person to see if they're a good fit for it. So there's a process, but that's available. That's one of the things that we're offering. And they're so fun, because that's the thing. Like, the Fuck Yes Life was born when I realized we can truly, have a life that we don't need to take a vacation from. We can design our business in a lifestyle where we can have it all, So that's available.
Well, I think that, we're living in a definitely in a time and age where reinventing yourself or reinventing your process is certainly a great desire for so many, right? So when you're teaching that and you're sharing it in such a way that we can put it into action, there's nothing better when you're living and playing full out and you just really love what you're doing and it's working for you financially and everything else.
For sure. And it's working for our clients. Tommy is a digital habits coach, an incredible human being. He lives out in LA. And when we first started working together, he was charging about $200 per coaching client per month. Okay. He worked with 10 clients and he had rockstar results. He's an expert at what he does. Like, he helps people break their bad phone habits so they can have up to 100 productive hours per week back. So his results are astonishing. And still, he was there, barely making $2,000 a month. I met with him and I was like, yo, you should be earning 10 times that. And he's like, what? And so we reworked his offer. I did some mindset coaching with him. We did some marketing and some sales. Now Tommy has collected over $150,000 in cash this year so far. And he's 10x his prices per client. So he's charging $2,000 per client. His clients are getting better results than before, keep renewing. And he launched his very own retreat. So he's got a Guatemala retreat right now. He's spreading the Fuck Yes Life to his people. So what are you doing, sir?
Well, those are certainly awesome results. Where's your retreat going to be?
So we have got a Thailand retreat. This is happening. I'm going to just release resistance to this. So Thailand, we have our next retreat in Thailand. It's going to be incredible. We're on Koh Samui, which is an island that it's literally like, it looks like a virgin island. It looks like nobody's ever been there before. Hey, nice. Elliot, will you stop it, sir? He's a kind of a superstar too. He likes to run his own YouTube channel and do gaming videos. So there you go. That's the next generation for you.
Yep. Totally get it. So how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so best way to get in touch with me if you're not on Be Connected, I'm on Be Connected. You can reach me here, but if you aren't, Facebook is incredible. You can send me a message on Facebook and really join the group. You know, don't just connect with me, connect with the amazing humans like Tommy and Janie Cole who are getting rockstar results and living this type of life. You know, that's the conscious entrepreneur community. I'll be sure to drop a link here. And actually also too, when you message me directly and you ask about the 3 Facebook posts, I will give you access to those posts. So just send me a message anywhere, all my channels. I have a good digital footprint, so you can find me anywhere really. But message me 3 Facebook posts and I will make sure that you get those posts because of our engagement with Scott here.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we deliver what we commit, for sure. That's awesome. How about little last words of wisdom for everybody?
For sure, like the biggest message that's like my God-given purpose that I get to share with the world is that success means, like the definition of success. Success means living life fully in alignment with your values. Living life fully in alignment with your values, right?
Nice.
Absolutely, because there's so many, there's like the life that we've been programmed to live by social conditioning, society, our family, our parents, and everyone in the world, the news or whatever. And then that's the story, right? And then there's the signal. And there's the signal, that deep inner calling that only you know, that you get to define. That's internal factors of success. And I think that that's how we get to measure the character that we're becoming, right? The qualities that we display. That's the ultimate measure of success that nobody can take away from you. And that's what I have to share with the world.
That's awesome. Well, we look forward to driving some people to you and doing what we can do to help in any possible way. So thank you for joining me here today. God bless. Thank you for joining us here on Scott Schilling Speaks. We'll be back again tomorrow, exact same time. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Scott. See you guys.